Since it has been long confirmed that Ahsoka and Vader will be locking blades in the latter half of Rebels Season 2, and since we've gotten a few glimpses of the fight itself, I figured I would throw my 2 cents in and explain who I think will win the fight and how I think it will go down. We'll be talking about both characters that we know are involved, so let's go ahead and start out with Ahsoka. According to Dave Filoni, Ahsoka has undergone some major changes since we last saw her at the tail end of the Clone Wars. According to him, she has grown substantially more powerful in the Force, but her abilities as a duelist remain fairly close to what they were near the end of the Clone Wars, which is actually still very impressive on its own, but the main focus here is her Force abilities. It seems Ahsoka's time and efforts have gone into other places rather than her dueling after she left the Jedi Order. We can see this change on display when she is dueling with the 7th sister. Instead of out-dueling her outright, Ahsoka relies on the Force and focuses, and is even able to catch the Inquisitor's saber and deactivate it. She then followed this up with a devastating Force push. This feat shows us where Ahsoka's training has taken her and where her focus now lies. It also shows us Ahsoka's development as a combatant, as the Clone Wars Ahsoka would have relied too heavily on her dueling prowess and attempted to overpower the 7th sister. It is in my opinion that Ahsoka would be able to best the now deceased Grand Inquisitor, since we saw Kanan was able to do so, and Kanan and Ezra are seen to be pretty evenly placed with the new Inquisitors, while we can see Ahsoka is able to best them fairly quickly. However, Star Wars is not as simple as, well, if this person beat this person, then they should be able to beat this person as well. It's much more complex, and many factors need to be taken into account. Now that we've talked about some of Ahsoka's developments as a combatant, let's go ahead and talk about Vader. We have to remember who this is. This is Darth Vader, one of the most powerful Sith Lords of all time, and one of the most proficient and talented duelists ever to be featured in the Star Wars universe. Vader has participated in many lightsaber duels, and won with ease most of the time, as we saw with his brief duel with Ezra and Kanan, where Kanan even states that they have no chance of beating Vader, and that the only chance they had was to escape. After Vader's initial defeat on Mustafar at the hands of Obi-Wan, he was forced to redesign his whole lightsaber fighting style, making it more powerful and more unpredictable, and not just attempting to bulldoze over combatants. Vader was an expert in lightsaber combat, far more so than Anakin Skywalker, and I would stack him up with the greatest of his time and other time periods. In the Clone Wars, Ahsoka was bested by Barriss Offee, who we later saw Anakin defeat in the Jedi Temple. Granted, during this engagement, Ahsoka was not in the possession of her second lightsaber. At the time of Anakin's duel with Barriss, his dueling abilities paled in comparison to Darth Vader, Lord of the Siths. And since Vader will be combating an opponent who, stated by Dave Filoni, whose skills as a lightsaber combatant haven't improved much after the Clone Wars, Vader should have ease dispatching her, and I would go as far to say that he would be capable of defeating the entire Ghost's crew along with Ahsoka. Also, take into account this is a Vader near his prime, 5 years before A New Hope. This is not a Vader unfamiliar with his suit, or a Vader who has not compensated for his shortcomings. At this point, Vader is a well-oiled powerhouse of a man who is plenty aware of his strengths and weaknesses. Now, I would like to address a reason many have come up with why Ahsoka may have a shot, citing Vader being conflicted about killing her and engaging her. This is actually not the case at all. As stated by Snoke in the Force Awakens novelization, the only reason Luke was able to beat Vader was because Luke was fighting him while he was conflicted, stating that sentiment was his only downfall, and that if he would have fought without it, he would have killed his son and remained a Sith Lord. This is the major reason Vader was bested on the second Death Star at the hands of Luke Skywalker. Inner conflict. So, does Vader have any of this inner conflict when concerning Ahsoka? Contrary to popular belief, this is not the case. He has pure hatred and anger towards Ahsoka. In an interview, Dave Filoni said Vader considers his relationship with Ahsoka to be a failure, and in a twisted way, he is angry with her. Vader has no mixed feelings about Ahsoka, which puts her in further danger of meeting her end at his hand. On top of all this, Vader also has a great familiarity with Ahsoka's fighting style, since he was the one who primarily trained her, and even though Ahsoka has become an impressive Force wielder and has learned to better implement it in combat, I feel it is still nothing compared to Vader, even after his duel on Mustafar, which resulted in him being gravely injured and losing most of his limbs. and when it comes to dueling skills, they are on completely different levels entirely. In a fair, even ground match, you would be hard-pressed to find a combatant worthy of Vader, but many times, a duel's outcome is based heavily on circumstance, Kylo Ren versus Rey being a great example of that, and we are unaware at this point of some of the various obstacles Vader could be dealing with that could result in his defeat, or at least give the rebels time to escape. So there you have it, there's my opinion. I think that Vader should pretty easily win this match, but at the other hand, we don't really have all of the pieces that are in play here, which may give Ahsoka a bit of the upper hand in this battle. What do you guys think? Who do you guys think will win? Do you think Vader will take this easily, or do you think he'll have his hands full with Ahsoka? Thank you so much for watching, it means so much to me. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.